I've been looking at a lot of these, not a lot, but I've been looking a lot of looking relative to me, I guess, at all of these different ways of piecing together reality that we've had, like science and religion and spirituality and direct experiences. And generally, we feel like, or at least it seems like, these things don't agree. They're just like all saying different things completely. They're we don't have any idea what's happening because we feel like we don't agree. But when I look at what is it, is there anywhere that we do agree? It feels like yes, there is. And one of the things that we seem to really all agree on across all of these different ways of figuring reality out is that culture is superficial. Culture is just a thing of its time done for the needs of the time, but it doesn't really mean that much. And when I say culture, I mean anything that we can't see or understand unless we're from that culture and from that time. So if you can't, if you lived a long time ago and you brought you today, you saw a car, you would still understand, oh, some people are getting in this thing, whatever the fuck it is, and it's moving them fast and it doesn't get tired. Like, you could see that. But what you can't see is a lot of the cultural concepts we have. People wearing certain uniforms, people cutting their hair a certain way, people speaking language is very cultural a lot of the time, when you're not just saying basic shit like, you know. But it feels like everybody agrees on that what matters, what really matters, is not this what really matters is what is real. Like the stuff that isn't just culture, that isn't just of that time and place. It is actually universally true. The universal truths seem to hold more value than the cultural truth. So if the culture believes that we spin around, the sun goes around the earth, but we figure out that it doesn't through just looking at it, then that's more real. And if we figure out that drinking alcohol makes people feel something because of something, then that's real. Or if someone goes and hurts somebody, then that's real. But it's the ways that we look at it through culture, like, oh, this person's wearing some certain thing, they are horrible. Like, what? All these types of ideas we have about who's what and what people should be doing is very subject to culture. A lot of our ideas about how we should be living, how people should be governed, and all this type of stuff is very much subject to culture. That's why traveling is so nice, because it gives you a perspective outside just what is in this culture. Like you get to go into China, or you get to go to somewhere else, and then see, oh, people here don't care about this thing that we always thought is super important. Maybe it's not that important. Maybe what really matters is these other things that everybody cares about anyways, because they're just real and they're not cultural. So yeah, culture is, I don't want to say irrelevant. It's of its time and place. But that's pretty much all the relevance it has. I think we over cling to it. We over dramatize it and feel like it's so it is so fucking important. All these cultural stuff. We don't feel like, oh, but that's because we don't travel enough or get enough perspective outside of our culture, maybe. I don't know what's happening, but there's something like that. There's something like we're overly caught up in our idea of what's right at the time, or what we think makes sense at the time, but we leave the other people or the other what is actually right for every time. And the only way that we can see that is if we go through these different perspectives. So being able to shift perspectives outside just this culture or something, then that does a lot.